We had a look earlier at the parse method of singles, doubles, integers, various different types, allowing you to take a string value and convert it into that particular type. I thought I'd look at that a bit more because obviously you can end up with errors. So I've got this very simple form, you may recognize it, and I've got two buttons on it this time. One is a test which just uses the parse method, and the other uses a new variation of it. What I've done here, the parse method can give an error, and if we don't do something about that, our program crashes, and that's not a good user experience. So what I've done is introduce this idea of error trapping, which is, in Visual Basic we say try the code that we want to run, then we catch in case there was an error, and whatever we do to handle that error. This is a very simplistic example of the try catch. You'll notice that the text box update is inside the try catch. That's partly because I only want this to happen if that's happened. So we only want the update to happen if the parse worked. If I run that, start, that's the test button, you'll see that we get our message box come up. We can OK that, nothing else happens. Similarly, if we try test 2, which I'll show you the code for in a moment, nothing's happening. Okay, so this is the message box which we just showed. That first alternative is quite nice. It's good to get used to error trapping because there are obviously times when we have errors we need to trap. That's how programming happens. This is a sort of preemptive approach where we use the TryParse instead of just parse. In a way, I like this less. It uses a form of programming by side effect. So TryParse doesn't return the integer value, it returns a success value, which is Boolean, so it will tell us whether it's true or false. And it will change the value of the parameter that we've passed in here. Now, that is a perfectly valid programming paradigm. It's certainly the way that a lot of languages used to work in the past with input and output variables. But I much prefer returning a single value. If you need multiple values, return it in a data structure. But anyway, this runs where you can see here, it checks to see if there's success. If it's successful, it will update. What I didn't put in here, which is why we didn't see an error message, if I do that, we can copy and paste that line to save the typing. And now if I run it again, both buttons should do the same thing. It should be a valid integer. It should be a valid integer. And if we get rid of the pizzas, almost a criminal offence really, if we get rid of the pizzas, just make it a number, then we can test, that goes in there, and test 2 similarly also goes in there. So you can see they're both doing the same thing, it's just a different way of thinking about the problem. So have a play with the try versions of parse. Think about whether you like this paradigm of passing in a variable or not. Some people still do. As I say, I prefer to return a function this way. And have a look at the idea of this try catch. Notice that catch can take some further arguments effectively after it. The actual exception, that's the error raised, as the type of thing, and when expression, and we will explore those at a later date.